3 days before the wedding, the message came in while Ava was standing in the fluorescent aisle of a wholesale store, comparing serving trays she wasn't even sure anyone would notice, still waiting on the last two gifts. Don't show your face without them, no emoji, no joke attached to soften it. Just her sister, Lena, speaking with the same brisk certainty she used with caterers and photographers and florists. The kind of voice that assumed compliance because compliance had always arrived eventually. Ava stared at the screen for a few seconds longer than necessary, then locked her phone and kept walking. What unsettled her wasn't the message itself. It was how familiar it felt. Over the years, family conversations had slowly shifted into transactions without anyone admitting it out loud. Holidays became contribution tallies. Birthdays became opportunities to help out. Even grief had logistics attached to it. Ava had spent most of her adult life being useful because usefulness created the closest thing to peace. She had already bought 5 gifts from the registry, paid part of the catering deposit when Lena and her fiancé came up short, covered emergency tailoring costs after a bridesmaid backed out quietly, without speeches, without expecting recognition. But every completed favor simply reset expectations. Her phone buzzed again, their mother this time. If you were real family, you'd complete the list. Ava read that one twice, not because it was especially cruel. Her mother had always preferred guilt delivered in calm sentences. What made this different was the absence of disguise. No, we're all stressed. No, your sister just needs support. Just a direct equation. Love in exchange for labor. Ava stood beside a stack of paper lanterns while shoppers drifted around her with carts and children and weekend plans. For a moment, she felt strangely detached from everything. Like she'd stepped outside a conversation she'd been participating in for years without understanding it. She typed nothing back. That night, she opened her laptop at the kitchen table. The cancellations took less than 20 minutes. 5 registry orders refunded. Catering transfer frozen through her bank. The bakery balance she'd agreed to float temporarily withdrawn. No announcement followed. No warning message. No dramatic declaration. Just administrative corrections. Then silence. The next morning passed quietly enough that Ava briefly wondered whether they had figured something else out already. By afternoon, her phone lit up. 4 missed calls from Lena, 2 from her mother, 3 from unknown numbers. Then more by evening, there were 29 missed calls. When Ava finally answered, Lena was already mid-sentence. The venue says payment didn't clear, and now they're threatening to reduce the catering package because apparently there's a hold, and mom says you canceled things and what the hell is wrong with you? Ava pulled the phone slightly away from her ear until the shouting softened. In the background, she could hear movement, doors opening, someone crying. Her mother's voice layered beneath it all, sharp with panic. For the first time, Ava understood exactly how much of the wedding infrastructure had quietly depended on her, not emotionally, financially. The coordinator called me in front of everyone, Lena said, voice cracking now from humiliation more than sadness. Do you know how embarrassing that was? There it was. Not why did you feel hurt, not why didn't we notice, just embarrassment. Exposure. Ava leaned back in her chair. Earlier that day, the catering manager had contacted Lena directly after the account failed verification. The venue apparently wouldn't continue setup preparations without confirmation. The authority in the situation wasn't emotional anymore. It was contractual, visible, documented. Someone with spreadsheets and deadlines had interrupted the family dynamic, and suddenly reality mattered more than assumptions. You could have at least warned us, Lena said. Ava almost laughed at that. Instead, she asked quietly, would you have listened? Silence not long. Just enough. In the days leading up to the wedding, Ava had replayed old memories differently. Her mother praising her only after she paid for something. Lena calling mostly when overwhelmed. Relatives introducing her as the dependable one, which sounded flattering until she realized dependable often meant permanently available. She had mistaken being needed for being valued. That realization hurt more than the texts. You left us stranded, her mother said suddenly after taking the phone. Ava looked around her apartment. Half-built gift boxes still sat near the wall waiting for ribbons she'd never bought. No, she said softly. I stopped covering things nobody appreciated. Her mother inhaled sharply like the sentence itself was disrespectful. The wedding still happened, smaller menu, fewer extras. Last-minute adjustments everyone pretended were intentional. A cousin later told Ava the atmosphere felt tense all evening, like people were performing happiness while calculating costs in their heads. Ava attended the ceremony briefly. She wore a simple dark green dress, sat near the back, smiled when appropriate, and hugged Lena afterward. Her sister looked exhausted more than angry now. There was no dramatic reconciliation, no apology that repaired years of quiet imbalance, just a tired pause between them. Before leaving, Lena asked without meeting her eyes, are you really this upset over 2 gifts? Ava looked at her for a long moment. Then she said, you only noticed me when things stopped arriving. Lena didn't answer. Ava left before the reception speeches began. Driving home alone, her phone stayed silent for the first time in days. The silence felt terrible and honest.